watch it fall first and then we'll go back. Good, fucking around with the arms. You and Mariska there real quick. Legs are looking way better, Mariska. Great work, Fabian. You're getting nice and on level real quick. Brendan comes and gets on level. Yeah, straighten them. That's it. Now you're out front. Cool.
Now I'm on the side.
Now you're on the side. Now you're coming straight through the centre. Nice work, Justin. Just kind of chilling out the side. So that, to me, when I'm looking at this now, it looks like I'm quite flat. Doesn't look like I'm very steep. The reason I'm going super steep is because I don't want to hose Justin here or Mike. That's got hosed.
That job's already. I did that to myself.
So we are going to go steeper on the next one and start getting used to that. So let's have a look at the exit. Good. So better exits. Justin, what happened here? Yeah, so you're going to fall on them burbles every now and then. So I'd say, because it looked like he's jumped out and you've jumped out as well.
Yeah.
So you just drop and let him jump out.
Okay.
So that way he pops off and then you'll go.
You just drop down.
Yep. You've got stable again. So good approach. So yep, good approach. So you and Mariska, I want to come, Claudia and Mariska want to come and dock on my legs and build a round off my legs on this next one. And after you dock, then I want you to swap sides.
Okay.
So cool, so it's just those legs together, which you see big impact there as soon as you go forwards, Brendan. Fabian, legs are wobbling a fair bit. So if this happens again, I'll go back. I may as well bring awareness to that real quick. So you've come around, then you've gone to anticipate the turn, and then through. So if this happens, ideally what you want to do is try and drop this shoulder
And get out.
and accelerate, yeah. So straighten those legs, and that's going to shoot you in this direction here. And stop that happening because you've accelerated that way. So here you'll see what happens automatically. Fabian, you see him come through and you're like, whoa, fuck. And you go and you put the brakes on, and that's what slows down. So you're kind of going like this with the hands. So it's going to be trying to get used to not steering. See this outside hand of yours? See how it keeps coming up?
Yeah.
So try and be aware that you're doing that, and then instead of steering with the hand now, try and steer a little bit with the knee. So you start quietening the knees down. The only way you can learn to quiet the knees down is by learning to use them. So once you understand how to use them, they'll just stop wobbling. It's just because you're relying on the hands at the moment to do all the turning and stuff like that. Okay, you can see on the outside it's still wanting to go. Same here, cupping. So it's just getting them out of the equation. So good work getting back to your side. Just remember to keep nice and forward. So we'll go through and we'll look at the back flies now. Claudia just going nuts on the hands. Okay, so good exit. Good exit. Now accelerating, so closing those legs is going to help you accelerate as well, Mariska.
Yeah. We'll get there one day.
That's alright.
Well, they're all good not played again then.
No, it's good. Cool, so yeah, you're really fucking around with those arms and feeling where that burble is. So now it's just being smoother and softer with it.
Yeah, wasn't really too aggressive with it.
That's right, you're just finding that barrier every day. Cool, so let's go and we'll watch the other two guys. So it looked like, Mike, you kind of had held that a little bit longer this time, which is good. So you can see you're starting to float up, you're maintaining, and then I've got given you the signal for the hips, and you stop the hips and you stop floating for a second, and then you start doing the hips again, which pushed you again. So really think of over-exaggerating those hips. So when you're in, say, see now how you're starting to float up, now's when you want to try and go into this kind of position. And then by dropping those hips here, it's going to cause you to actually drop away from the formation. So it's not necessarily that you want to fly this all the time, but it's just using that safety drill, so then therefore you don't keep popping up and going in this direction here. So you'll find once you start coming to that horizon level, that's where your boundary is, so you don't really want to come past this part. So before you even get there, that's where if you think about going, if I draw it the other way, if you think about going to this position here, or going to this position, so that way it's going to increase the speed that you have, and it will stop you from going up, 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 up. And you can see this last little part here. See how I can see your feet and your heels and that. So that tells me you're actually in a pretty good standard straight angle position, which is this. You can see it's very similar to this. The only difference is he's a bit steeper, hence why he's maintaining, because his pitch is steeper compared to you're at this angle and he's at this angle. And therefore what happens now, you'll find, see how you start floating up, and just that slight movement, so I can see your legs and I can see your shoulders just like I can see his. And then now what happens to the legs, and see how they start disappearing. So I can start actually seeing, yeah, I can see your foot behind that arm. So that tells me that you're arching and you're going more like this, because I can see behind the shoulder, I can see that foot, compared to actually going like this. So here I wouldn't be able to see anything because the foot's up here, hence it would give us this kind of shot and view, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean by letting the body feel like it's falling back, with the legs staying like that, rather than trying to arch to go over, where the legs come back under. So it's just over exaggerating that bum down feeling. I'm essentially teaching you a wrong move and a wrong motion to create a good one. You've done well sticking on it there, so you haven't floated anywhere near as much as you did on that last one. It looks like you probably are doing, yeah, it looks like you are dead dogging a little bit there. Yep. So that's kind of maintaining you in that distance. So it's just trying to sink down under here. You can see where Justin is back behind Mariska at the moment. See how he's hanging around that level there? Just around here.
Alright, yep.
Yep, there he is. So this part here, this is, you don't really want to come any much more higher than where he's. You can see on this level here, he's still arching, so he's arching a little, but his feet aren't necessarily back behind him too much.
Okay.
And you'll see where his arms are. So his arms, he's not necessarily pushing off the wind. So his arms are still kind of forward. So if I draw a side-on shot, his arms would be more like this and slightly like this, where I can see your arms are probably more pushing back this way or pushing here. And that there, because the wind's coming up, it's catching this horizontal surface area, and the horizontal surface area of this, that's why it's pushing up. So by relaxing those arms forward a little bit, now you don't have that drag, and that's also going to allow you to come down by letting go of the arms a bit. Once you start getting closer, you'll see how these guys here are closer, so they can put the gas on a little bit. You can see how even every now and then Mariska's putting them on and then releasing, on and then releasing, on and releasing. It's the same with Justin as well. So he's getting a little bit of death wobbles there, so it's just been smoother with it. You can see how he puts the brakes on, and then gas again. Brakes on and gas. So all you're needing to do is just get smoother with that, really.
Yeah, okay.
Just smooth it right out.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay, so let's go gear up. We're going to do the same formations again, but I'm going to give a little bit different drills for everyone.